Welcome to part 5 of this test 2 review for statistics. I have to help assess student learning in her developmental psychology courses. A psychology professor at a university implemented pre and post tests for her developmental psychology students. A knowledge gained score was obtained by comparing the two test scores. And we want to know, what type of experimental design is this? Due to the pre and post test, this is a matched pairs test. Specifically, each individual student is paired with themselves for the pre versus post test. Part B, what's the population? This would be all developmental psychology students. Part C for this. What's the response variable? These are those knowledge gained scores, which presumably is just subtracted, but I'll write it like this. Knowledge gained scores. Part D, what is the factor being manipulated, and then what are the treatments? The factor being manipulated would be these developmental psychology course. And those treatments. Will be the pre-test versus the post-test. Part E, the experimental units. These weren't explicitly defined per se, but this would be the students. And this professor's developmental psychology classes. And then for part F, we want to know the control group. And while not explicitly stated per se, but the control group is going to be the pretest, since that would be before the course is actually taught and whatnot to gauge that student learning in the class. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you.